everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about items I've had in my collection for 5+ years. And I really feel like I came into my style 5 to 4 years ago. I actually have a ton of stuff from 4 years ago, so potentially next year I'll do this again. But I wanted to cover these things and just show you the things that really have a lot of staying power in my collection. Some are luxury, some are not, and I'm going to try to go through them pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and get started. The first things that I'm going to talk about are what I am wearing. So this blazer is from Diane von Furstenberg. I've had it for years. It is the blazer I almost always belt. I don't know why, I just like the way that this one looks belted. And I'm wearing my Ferragamo belt. This is my first Ferragamo belt. I have 3. This one is from about 5 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And then this top underneath here is a little shell top from St. John, and it's silk, and I've had it for many years. So I thought I would just kind of put these things on to wear for this video. There's no rhyme or reason to the things I'm pulling out. It's just kind of like what I pull out of the pile first. So no surprise here. This bag was my grandmother's. It's vintage. I have had it for, I've probably had this for 15 years. It's probably the oldest thing that I'm going to show you today. So I've had this for 15 years, and of course it's many, many, many years older than that. So I love this bag. It is the only bag, it is the first bag I ever had in my collection that I still have. And the other 2 bags that I have that I'll show you next are both from 5.5 years ago, almost 6 years ago. I got married in May of 2015, and so these were both bought on my honeymoon. Those are the only other ones I have that I still have from 5 or more years ago. So then we have the vintage Gucci padlock bag that I bought on my honeymoon, my first luxury bag that I ever bought. Still have that, of course. And then on my honeymoon, on the way home in the airport, I also picked up this Longchamp, which was the first Longchamp that I got. I don't know if that counts as luxury or not, but still, this one was definitely the first purchase. Bought about 2 weeks before this one. But those are the only 3 bags that are that old in my collection. The other belt in my collection that I don't wear as often, I don't show as often, is this Burberry belt. It says Burberry right in there. You may be able to see that. But it is a double clasp, so you can wear it at different places, but it comes in the front and double clasps. For a thin black belt, it's great to have. I don't wear belts that often. When I do, I kind of like the statement of the Ferragamo, and so I tend to go for that. But I've had no reason to get rid of this belt. It's certainly a good thing to have and can come in handy when you want something really subtle. So yeah, I've had this one for a really long time. So a little over 5 years ago, I really fell in love with Burberry, and I have multiple things, right? So I have that belt. I also have these 2 scarves. They're both cashmere vintage. Well, one of them's vintage and one of them's just an older style, not technically vintage. Scarf, I really like both of these. I wear these often. I've had them for a long time. And then, of course, have to mention my vintage Burberry trench, which is my favorite. You've seen me wear this a ton of times. I absolutely love this. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite pieces in my collection. One of the first pieces I truly coveted and was so excited to find and get for such a great deal. And yeah, I've always loved this one. It continues to be my favorite coat in my collection. And yeah, definitely one of my favorite purchases. Next up for Burberry is this Burberry suit. I'll insert a picture of me wearing this. I don't know if this is still gonna fit. Unfortunately, after pregnancy, my hips have gotten too big, and there's not really anything to take out in this one, but we'll see. But yeah, it's just like a simple jacket. It's vintage Burberry's, as you can see, right, the vintage line. And yeah, I bought this years ago, and I really liked it, and it made me feel really polished when I was teaching, and so I've enjoyed having this one. To keep going with some clothes, I don't wear cardigans very often, but this Prada cardigan, I think I bought for $10 or less on eBay in an auction. It started at $1, and very few people were sort of searching for this kind of thing. So I've had it for a really long time, and I think it's a nice little piece to have. You can kind of see the label there. So yeah, I've had that for a long time. I don't wear it very often, but I still like it. This trench is actually a no-name vintage trench. I bought this. This is older because I bought this right before we got engaged. So this is more than 7 years ago. I bought this, and I bought it in Charleston, South Carolina, on a trip. I like to go to consignment shops on trips and then find things and kind of have them from that trip. So this I bought from a consignment shop. And then this coat, you've seen me wear a bunch of times, this Nanette Lapore tweed coat, was another one that I've had for a long time. And then speaking of Nanette Lapore, this skirt suit I have had for more than 5 years. I've worn it a ton of times. I really like this one. And then this dress, this is the front, this dress from Diane von Furstenberg, I've worn a number of times as well. We'll see if it still fits. I think this suit will, but we'll see if the dress does. But yeah, this one I've had for probably just about 5 years, maybe 5.5. I also have some like workout clothes and things like that I've continued to have for 5 years, but I'm not going to really count those. I also have like random t-shirts, you know, from high school and college that I still have, but nicer things, right? These are the last thing I want to show you. These are my wedding shoes. They are vintage Stuart Weitzman, and they are a mess, kind of falling apart, but they have this mesh in them, and so they were kind of see-through. The bottom of my dress was lace, and I wanted a shoe that kind of looked like lace, and I really liked that it was kind of this beautiful gold cream. Our colors were ivory rather than a pure white, and my dress was ivory, so I wanted some shoes that kind of match that, and I was really excited to find these on eBay. So these are the last thing. I don't wear them. I actually just put them on for the first time in probably at least 3 years, and they're a little small on me now, but of course they are super sentimental, so they're not going anywhere. So this is a really, really good find. And actually just remembered one more thing. This bag right here, this Ferragamo bag, it might be just under 5 years old. I think I probably bought it over the summer of 2016, but really, really close to 5 years. It could have been spring, so maybe by the time this video goes up, this one will be 5 years old as well. But yeah, that's it. So I think I have like, 15 items in my collection that I still have, that I still really love. I was at a real precipice in my style journey, so I have very few things from before that time, and then I have a whole lot of things from after, many of which are from the last year or two, but the majority, I would say, are probably between 3 and 4 years ago. And these are the special things that were right at the beginning of my journey that were really smart choices and that I still have and love today. I'd love to know the items that you still have from that long ago, and please let me know which of these things was your favorite. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in a future video. Bye!